Alright, today we're going to talk about combining shapes some more. So first thing you need to do is open the combining shapes document, and we're going to be combining some shapes. So let's talk about zooming in. So in previous things like InDesign or Photoshop, it was the same thing. You would go to View, and then you could zoom in, or you can hit Control on your keyboard and the plus symbol, and you can zoom in. So this is the shape that we're going to create, and this are the basic shapes that we need to use to create it. So the first thing we're going to do is take our black arrow, also called the selection tool. We're going to select all of these shapes right here. And now we're going to get the shape builder tool, which looks like a little cloud with the little arrow on it. And what we're going to do is we're going to draw through the shapes that we want to combine. So you see how I'm drawing this line, and then all the other lines become red as it creates the shape that it's going to build. And now I have the shape built that I want to create. So that's how to add things together to create a shape. But what if we want to delete? So the same thing, we're going to go back, we're going to get our selection tool. We're going to select the shapes that we want to use. We're going to click on the shape builder tool. But this time, I'm going to hit the Alt key on the keyboard, and I'm going to come at it from the right, because what I want to keep is this moon part right here, right? So I want to get rid of these. So I just draw through them, and now they're gone. So you notice when I hit the Alt key on the keyboard, it goes from a plus to a minus. Okay, so now I can use my selection tool to move my little moon around. Okay, we're not going to do anything with the blue or the little black circle, but we're going to create an eye out of these, because what we're going to do is we're just going to keep this part right here. So same thing, after I selected it, I'm going to get my shape tool, and then minus, I want to get rid of this, and I want to get rid of that, and now I have my eye shape. Okay, so if I go back, I can either zoom out, right? Okay, or I could Control minus, so I can see this shape over here. So now we can build our shape. So I'm going to put the eye on there first. Probably a little lower. Okay. And then the little black spot of the eye. And now let's put the moon on there. The crescent. Doesn't have to be perfect. And remember, just like in InDesign or in Photoshop, you can nudge by using your arrow keys. So once I select it with the black arrow tool, I can use the arrow keys to nudge it into the place that I want it to go. And I don't need this second, so I can just delete that. And then I'm going to put this right there on the inside. And I'm going to nudge it up a little bit to the left. There we go. That's pretty good. Alright, so the second part of this lesson is we're going to talk about lines, creating lines. So over here we have your line segment tool. So I'm going to grab that, and I want to create, we're going to create several lines behind our little object that we just created. So the first thing I'm going to do is just draw a line like that. Now this line is basically invisible right now because it doesn't have any stroke to it. So if I come over here to my properties palette, so if you don't see it, you can go over here to Windows and check properties, right? And then your properties palette will come up. I'm going to click on that and make it black. Click on the stroke. And then the next thing is it needs to have a certain amount of size to it. I believe this is a 12 point. This is the same size that they're using everywhere else. So we're just going to make this 12 point. So now I have a 12 point line. Right? And I can wait until it says intersect, which means I know it's pretty much centered. Now I don't want it to be in front. So what I'm going to do is go up here to Object and Arrange and Send to Back. So I'm going to send that line to the back of my drawing. Okay, so I want to make 4 of these. So the first thing that I'm going to do is go up here to edit, copy, and then I'm going to paste it in place. So if I paste it, here's what happens. It just appears wherever. But I don't want to have to go through all the trouble of centering it again. So I'm going to edit, paste, in place. And so it's exactly where the other one is. It's right on top of it. Except it's on top of everything. But that's okay. And now what I'm going to do is, you see if I go right here, I get that little two-sided arrow. I'm going to rotate this. And you see it really helps you because it has that little number 270. Right? I know it's perfectly straight up and down. So I'm going to do the same thing, send it back. Okay. So now I'm going to click on that one, and I'm going to hold down my shift key, and I'm going to click on the other line. So I got both of these lines just like before. Okay, so I'm going to copy them, and then I'm going to paste in place. Of course, it puts it on top, but that's okay. Now what I'm going to do is I want to rotate both of these lines, but I'm going to hold my shift key down because that's going to force it to go on 90-degree angles. Right? So shift key and rotate. Come on, rotate. There we go. So rotated it 90 degrees, and now I can send this object to the back. So that's what your final project of this should look like when you're done. Should look like this little eye guy with the 4 lines behind it.